I had a really great childhood. I'm from Texas, born and raised, but both my mom and dad, they're from Alabama. So all my family's from Alabama. So I grew up a huge Alabama fan, Roll Tide, it's in my DNA. Growing up, I wanted to be a meteorologist. That was my dream. So as a kid, I used to always just watch the Weather Channel to listen to the jazz music. But over time, I started being like, oh my gosh, like I love weather. Like I remember when Hurricane Katrina hit, like that's when I was really like invested into meteorology. Yeah, I thought that was my dream. I wanted to be a meteorologist, chase tornadoes, report live from the center of somebody's hurricane. I decided Texas A&M was my dream school. So I positioned my whole life, like through high school, as I was gonna go to Texas A&M. I was gonna study meteorology. That was my goal. So here we are, my senior year of high school. I'm applying to A&M, and I'm just like, I gotta get in. And I did not get in. I went to Prairie View, fell in love with Prairie View, and I tell you, my everything changed my freshman year. So I remember I finished my freshman year with a 3.6 GPA. So I was like, oh, you can get the automatic admissions. But then I thought about it. I had made really good friends since I was there. And I don't know, it was a hard decision. But I just knew in my heart it was meant for me to stay at Prairie View and not go to Texas A&M. I felt like my heart had turned. And so I was like, well, you can do some type of media. I know you like TV, so maybe you do some type of media. So then I ended up getting an internship at ABC 13, which is like ranked number 8 in like the nation when it comes to markets. It's in Houston. It's an incredible market. Got fired from my internship. I kind of got scared of being in front of the camera after that, because I just started kind of going through like a whole like mental thing all over again, because I'm like, well, I know I don't want to do news. I gave up on meteorology. I'm at the school. I don't really know what I want to do. Like, time is moving. I don't know. Ended up just kind of going on the business side of media. So I went into the advertising sales, the marketing aspect, and I was like, it was cool, but I was like, I really like sports. Like, what can I do around like sports and maybe interviewing people or entertainment? A journalism bug started developing probably around my junior year of college, and I interviewed a lot of top name people in like the African American spaces when it comes to music, entertainment, and even sports. And so then I graduated Prairie View, then ended up at USC. Being on the NFL social team it was crazy, but it was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. Working in social media every day is gonna be a little bit different. I really have to ask, like, what is something I can ask players that you can't Google on the internet? The Sundays were the most hectic days. My job last season was I was the NFL IG story lead. So it was my job to populate the Instagram bubble every game day, every combine, every draft. I worked from 12 to 9, and I would basically go through every one of the first 5 games and post one play from each game to catch up. It was my job to create between, I think, 40 and maybe 50 tiles. Yeah, it was pretty intense. I enjoyed it though. Yeah. So I would go through the first 5 games or 4, and I would take each one play from each game. Because like I said, I have to have between 40 and 50. Yeah. So I'm taking each play, one play from each game. And then by the time I'm done catching up on that, the next set of games, the 1 o'clock games, West Coast time, are taken off. So I got to get player entries on there coming in. And then I go back to it's like a lot of hopping back and forth. So then once I get a couple players coming in, then I'll go back to the first 4 games, get maybe first, second, third quarter in, and chill for a little bit on them. and then I'll go back to the second part, get those games started, get those done, then we're good. So then we have about, it's really like 45 minutes before Sunday night football kicks off. I get my dinner and then I take like maybe a 2-second breather, and then I'm back in it. All of this has to get approved and checked by my manager, so I'm not just posting willingly, because that's a lot of fans, a lot of eyeballs watching me. My goal going into it is I have to, number one, have great news judgment. I'm getting over hundreds of raw material in from our videographers and photographers on the ground at the games. And so it's my job to choose what best describes the moment going on TV. Like Super Bowl was pretty bananas. Imagine, I think for Super Bowl, I posted about 55 tiles. Wow. Each tile had 1 million views. Our bosses told us, you guys cannot mess up. This is the Super Bowl. You cannot mess up. We have the world's eyeballs on us. And it was great. It was kind of cool. It's a pressure that I can deal with, because it's like, I do this. Like, I enjoy this. I think one of the biggest things I dealt with last season was kind of fatigue. Yeah, it can get a lot. Sometimes I think people have to understand being a creative can get a little draining. Sometimes you have to take a pause and just like recalibrate and regather yourself and remind yourself that it's okay. But when you're in the season, I mean, it is what it is. You gotta just kind of suck it up. It's the season. But you really appreciate your off season. Hands down, draft. To see their dreams come to pass, it is something that is just like, it is insane. You get to understand the word underdog. Because let's take Tom Brady, for example. The best quarterback of all time, in my opinion. And he was a 6th round draft pick. A 6th round draft pick. They literally didn't think Tom Brady would be anything. And now look at him. 7 Super Bowls. The most winningest quarterback in NFL history. That's why I love the draft. I've worked with Marshawn Lynch, Kenny Stills. I actually have a meeting with him after this. Oh, Robert Ory. I've worked with Ryan Neal, Trey Norwood. He works with, or he plays for the Steelers. My dream interview player I want to interview with all of my art is Jalen Hurts. Jalen is just incredible, man. He's super inspiring. He loves to uplift the community, and he's very selfless. He's the true definition of resiliency to me. My faith is everything. My faith is everything. I believe in God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. My job is to be an ambassador on this earth. One thing I think is so crazy is some people will never have the opportunity to step in church. Some people will never have the opportunity to know who Jesus is. But you can be that person. You can be what me and my friends call it God's agent. It's like we're secret agents in a way. But our job is to spread love, joy, peace, and forgive. And just honestly do whatever the Father wants. And so my faith is everything. It drives my life. My ultimate goal in life would be to combine my love of sports and my love of God and give players and athletes the platform in the safe space to talk about God in such a way that brings them joy. And they can, talk about their testimonies and the things they've had to overcome and just what their relationship is like with them. The money, the fame, none of that matters. None of the materialistic stuff, none of that matters, because it's all gonna waste away. the real treasure is knowing God and doing what he called you to do on this earth. So what are you doing with the time he's given you? Number one, I'm chosen to be in this industry. There was so many times where I dealt with imposter syndrome or feeling inadequate, not feeling good enough. But what I learned is your background, your opinion, your whole presence is just needed in this space. My old manager, he took such a chance on me. To be on the NFL social team, you gotta have some experience. I had none. And they took a chance. 2 years later, Instagram story lead, bringing in a whole bunch of stuff, doing a lot of big things for the team. I was the only African American woman on my entire team. But they never made me feel like that. They never isolated me. They never devalued me. They always, like, it was one NFL social. I don't care what anyone says, that's the best social team in the world. The league is completely evolving. We are entering into a new era when it comes to media, when it comes to social. And I believe the NFL is trying to transform with the times. Our job as a league is we just kind of, like, delegate, but the owners are the ones drafting, paying, doing all of that. So sometimes, like, it's met with combat. But I will say the NFL is trying to transform from, like, an employee standpoint. The NFL is a great place to start, but not to stay. The NFL taught me everything I know. I wouldn't be prepared for this next position if it wasn't for them. But the reason why I say not a great place to stay is because sometimes it's hard to move up. I mean, the NFL is great to stay there. I say maybe between like 2 to 4 years. Get it in, because you're learning from the best of the best.
Right.
The reason why I really say not to stay is because you're going to learn so much from the greats. You're going to want to build something on your own. You are in such a great position. Like I say, do not compare yourself. Don't feel like you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be there, always. They need you. They need you. Always reach back to the next generation and show them, like, you can do it too. Because I thank God that I'm able to pave lanes for people like you coming in after me, the next generation. So you guys don't have to have it as hard as I did. I didn't have anyone showing me the ropes. I was just like, I'm out here, let's go.
Yeah.
And so that's why I take students very seriously, because if I can help guide and provide or whatever, I'll do that. And so it's just, I thank you for taking advantage of the opportunity to, number one, just listen to me and learn about life in the league and all that good stuff. So you're gonna do really great.